If you've used the internet for any certain amount of time, I'm gonna trust that you know what screamers are. You were either around my age where you got subjected to these screamers against your will, or you were older and you were the evil big siblings or parents that pranked us with these screamers. If you're younger than me though, you probably only know screamers exist and you don't really know much about them after that. And I don't blame you, in fact, I envy you. Throughout the 2010s, people my age were just completely over this fad and wanted nothing to do with it. Screamers cause trust issues. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I refused to click on a video I wasn't familiar with in fears that it would have been a screamer back in 2009. However, in recent years, I've noticed videos coming out doing entire retrospectives on all the screamers since the dawn of the internet. I guess since the pandemic caused a lot of people who were bored at home to start going down internet rabbit holes, screamers were no exception to that. However, after watching all these videos, I've noticed that they left out one important screamer, at least to me. None of these videos ever mentioned the 2002 screamer Kikia. Kikia is a 17-second flash animation that was originally released on the Taiwanese website Kimo. I don't think the website exists anymore because when I tried Google searching it today, it just brought me to some random artificial intelligence website. The person who uploaded Kikia went by the name NetSpooky, but according to the Screamer Wikia, this was a re-upload, and the creator of it is still unknown to this day. Kikia is honestly not very interesting. It's two poorly drawn images of a character sitting on a hill and then walking down the street with the only animation being text on the screen, and then a spooky, scary face and scream interrupts the narrative. However, that in itself is why this screamer specifically fascinates me. Know Your Meme calls Kikia the first known internet screamer, which obviously isn't true. The Where's Waldo screamer arguably came out earlier in 2002, and the What's Wrong with This Room screamer was discovered in email chains in 2001. And if you want to go really far back, there's obviously the commercials that came out in the 70s and 80s that unintentionally followed the screamer format. However, Kikia was the first and only screamer at the time that tried to disguise itself as a narrative. Most screamers that were coming out at that time were either tied to an existing franchise or product, or had some sort of gimmick that tricked viewers into looking very close in the screen before the face pops up. No screamer at that time ever tried to trick you into being engrossed into a story. And I didn't see any screamer attempt to do this again until 2011 when the Bong Xiandong Ghost Flash came out. If I mispronounced that, I'm sorry. So I do want to award Kikia for being the first ever original screamer that came out on the internet. And you know what? That in itself is sadly probably the reason why it didn't get as popular as the others. To be perfectly fair, it is funnier to watch someone playing the maze game with all this confidence that they can beat the game and then have their egos shattered in seconds when the girl from The Exorcist pops up and scares the shit out of them. And the actual screamer that pops up in Kikia honestly isn't that traumatizing either. It's just a still image from Fatal Frame 2. However, the scream in Kikia was way more convincing in my opinion. It actually sounds like the scream of a girl who's distressed or in danger. Not like the goofy screams that you heard in What's Wrong with This Room or the Maze game. But I mean, hey, that's a matter of opinion, I guess. So yeah, I'm by no means saying this is the best screamer out there, but it was the first screamer that tried to be standalone rather than tying itself to a gag or a gimmick. And that's why, as a result, this screamer will always be one of my favorites. I also think it's funny that the internet can't figure out an objective translation of what this flash is trying to say. The guy who wrote the Know Your Meme page claims it translates to, I don't have a face, no eyes, nothing. You wanna see what my face looks like? Now you will. And then, screamer pops up with a note that says, this was self-translated by me since I speak and somewhat write Chinese parentheses Mandarin, so at least he's admitting that this is a DIY translation. And then on the Screamer Wiki, it claims that it says, how long haven't you taken a look at the sky and daydreamed, walking down the street, you see, and then boom, screamer again. I mean, we'll never truly know what the screamer was originally trying to say, since 21 years later, there's no trace of its original creator since. But whoever you are out there, thank you so much for this little internet gem that I've kept near and dear to my heart ever since the first time I watched it in elementary school. Whether NetSpooky was the original creator of this, or if NetSpooky knows the original creator of this, I would love to have a chat with you one day and possibly interview you about this and your future endeavors. I mean, you're probably a Taiwanese dude in his 40s that has a life outside of the internet, but if you ever stumble upon this and want to talk about a creation you made 21 years ago, I'd be more than happy to sit with you. It's worth a shot. They might see it. I don't know. While I didn't love getting pranked by screamers, the concept of internet horror always fascinates me, so you'll be seeing a lot of internet horror stuff covered on my channel in the future, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching the first official return video for this new channel. If you haven't seen the first ever upload I uploaded on here, my last channel got terminated, so I'm currently trying to rebuild an audience. So if you liked this video, I would appreciate subscribing and sharing this with your friends and followers to help revive myself. I'm also on the social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Bluesky. You can find them all in the description. Anyways, I am recording this at 2 o'clock in the morning alone in the Living Tombstone office, and I've been watching Screamers all night to prepare the script for this, so I've been like a little bit on edge all night. I don't know why I decided to write and film this so late, but I am going to go home now and hope that nothing pops out of the bushes and kills me. So, goodbye.